Hey, before I start, I just want to tell you, listen carefully, I might be giving away a set of the pencils I'm reviewing. Hi, it's Dia. Today I'm reviewing the Schpirerr Farben brand new set of 96 colored pencils, and I'm going to be coloring in an image from Everyday Magic that has this really cool new type of binding on top. So you can see you can take it off, remove the page, and then put that binding back on. And it's pretty awesome. Anyway, back to these lovely pencils. The box is tin. It has a nice welcome letter, a nice piece of wax paper, and then these gorgeous pencils. If you've seen any of my videos before, you know that I'm already a fan of Schpirerr Farben pencils. So I couldn't wait to see the new colors. And here is the tray that is all new. Here is a picture that I drew with the previous set that contained 72 pencils. And I'm so excited because now there are 96, including some gorgeous pinks, ivory, and additions to the unbelievable greens. And like it says on the back, they are artist grade. They have premium pigments, super bright colors. There's a color and number on every pencil. The leads are soft, 3mm, and the pencils are relatively thin but sturdy, and they feel great in your hand for when you're drawing. I should say drawing, coloring, whatever type of art you're doing. So what I did was start with some colors from the new tray. The first thing I did here was use ivory, and then I used point shoes, which I have a bit of an affinity to that color because I used to take ballet and teach ballet to little ones. Now in this image, I'm trying to recreate or come as close as I can to the cover of Everyday Magic. And that was done completely with Procreate on an iPad. So I knew it was going to be challenging because there is every color on the face of the earth on Procreate, and you can design your own colors. So this was quite a challenge to to the Schpirerr Farben pencils, but since I already love them, I figured it wouldn't be unfair because I knew they were bright and highly pigmented to begin with. So with 96 colors now, I had my fingers crossed. Now, the Schpirerr Farben set already had beautiful greens, and now there are even more. Now this one, by the way, the names are also really memorable, which doesn't sound like it's a big deal, but it is because you know, and well, not that you can remember them, so it sticks in your head, and then you can start to work with them easier, and a color chart becomes less necessary because the names are so memorable. You know, names like pickle and avocado, golf course, they stand out in your head, and those are just the greens. And those are some of the colors that I just used on the candle and on the veins in the wings. Now that little mousy right there, I used blooming bouquet in the ears, another one of just the beautiful colors in this set. So as you can tell already, I am a fan of this set, and now I even like it more because there are certain colors that you really can't recreate. Like let's say you have a basic set of 12, not that Schpirerr Farben only ever had 12 pencils, but let's say you only have 12 pencils and they are your basic colors. You know, the rainbow plus black plus white, a couple browns. You really can't create pinks There's nothing you can mix up. And yes, I know in the color wheel we're supposed to be able to mix red and purple to red and blue to make purple, but it really doesn't. You can't create like a soft violet or a periwinkle or a fuchsia. So Schpirerr Farben really thought this out and put together some great new colors. Now what I'm doing here quickly is using yellow and butter and a couple of the other yellows. I can't remember the other color. Oh, hot sun. And I'm filling in all the areas that'll show highlights here because I want this image to look like it's either deep in the forest or nighttime. So the area that I'm drawing right now or coloring in right now is the glow from the candle and all the yellow that I put around those plants and in the other greenery. Ooh, here's all the greens. Look at them. They're just amazing. A lot of sets that I've used lack greens, lack grays, and lack skin tones, and this set has them all. So you'll see, because this little fairy, this little candle fairy, is surrounded by greenery and grass and bushes and plants. So I got to use pretty much every color in the set, and that was my goal when I started. I picked a picture that was going to highlight the reds and the greens and even some of the purples. I couldn't use all of them, but the background behind him, well, I think I actually used French blue, which isn't very dark, but dark enough to make it look like it's nighttime. So let's talk about the pencils for a few minutes. The core is 3 millimeters, like I think it's 3.3 millimeters actually. Let me be very specific for you. And what that means is it sharpens well, it holds a point well, even though the lead is relatively soft. And being relatively soft, you can fill in areas very nicely. They're very creamy. And yeah, it's 3.3 millimeters. They are non-toxic and they conform to ASTMD-4236 safety codes. So you can feel safe using them, and even if your children use them, you can feel good about that too. Another thing about these pencils and about my coloring style is that, as you can see, I go back and forth and back and forth, and I do a lot of layers. And in some areas I press very hard, and in some areas I don't press very hard. In some areas I use the very point, and in some areas I almost use the side of the pencil to get certain looks. Now I'm telling you this because it ends up with layer upon layer upon layer, and with some pencils that's a big problem, but not with these pencils. First of all, they're oil based, so they blend extremely well either with a terpenoid or Gamsol type of blender or a colorless blender stick. It just works really nice, and you can go over and over and over again with other colors to form really rich and detail-y type looks. Now here's an example of one color and one layer of the one color, which is black. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, black is black, but it's really not. In certain sets, the blacks they're okay, but they're not jet black, or they're a little anemic looking. This is black. And you put one layer down, as you'll see, and I'm going to use a little bit of terpenoid with that brush later. And it just blends to a pitch black. So definitely a thumbs up. And I want to tell you that I'm happy to say that I'm going to be giving away this set that well, no, it isn't the set that I'm working with, but a brand new lovely set of 96 Schpirerr Farben colored pencils. Thank you so much to Schpirerr Farben. They're such a lovely company to work with. So I have the ability to give a lucky winner one of these sets. All you have to do is follow me either here or on my coloring group on Facebook. If you're already a follower, just leave me a message underneath and tell me. And just write the words, "Thank you, Schpirerr Farben." I know it's hard to spell. If you can't spell it or you're confused, don't worry about it. Spelling doesn't count. And this giveaway will end next Wednesday. And feel free to share this. If you have a friend or you have a group or somebody that you think might like a set of these pencils, feel free. I would totally appreciate the share or the like, whatever you can do. Thank you very much in advance. I will also put the links to my book, Everyday Magic, the pencils below, and Schpirerr Farben's other set of pencils, which has 72 pencils in it, and I'll put those links below. Oh, along with the Schpirerr Farben brand new watercolor set, which is amazing, and I really think you'll like it. I'll put the link to that below. And I also have a video. I'll put the link to the video where I review that set. How many is in that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 12 colors in the Schpirerr Farben watercolor set, and I'll put that video below. Here is the French blue that I was talking about, and you can see that I'm not really being super careful. I'm kind of, just going over the whole area. And a little later on, I do use Turpenoid, and it blends so nicely. And it's like the perfect background color, in my humble opinion. And thank you, Schpirerr Farben. Oh, this is one of the colors from the new set. That's Caribbean Holiday. And another interesting color that I used in the plants was Cocolitos Water. I hope I said that right, Tanya. And I should say this entire set is under $50. Don't know how they do it. Amazing, Schpirerr Farben. That was Honey Brown. I'm adding some details to the hair. That one is Deep Ocean. They have a new color in the set called Silver Vishla. And it's this perfect neutral gray mushroom that I used in this image. Well, right now, that's Blooming Bouquet, which is probably one of my favorite new colors that they put in the set. And I'm using that for some of the, well, it's not green the way I'm coloring it, but I'm using that color for some of the plants because I thought that would go really nice with the mushrooms. And the mushrooms I used True Love and I think Ruby Brown, which is another awesome color. I used Ruby Brown on the perimeter of the mushrooms, and it gave them depth, and it made them sort of roundish looking, because when you put round on the edges and the lighter colors in the center, it sort of gives it like a cylindrical feel. And I either used True Love or Watermelon, or possibly both, to do the veins in those blooming bouquet leaves. Anyway, back to the Silver Vishla. It's this mushroomy gray that I used, funny enough, on all the mushrooms. Anytime you see me doing shadows underneath the red part of the mushroom, that's that new silvery mushroom gray color. I also used it on the fairies' outfit and on the mushroom that he's standing on also. It's a little light for a dark, dark shadow, though for those colors I was using pavement gray, black, of course. Where's the other one? There was a new, oh, there was seal gray from the old set. Oh, there's some really nice new browns too. There's espresso. And what was the other one? Oh, maple. The ruby brown. I just love that. Caramel. I can't remember if that's from the new or the old. The yellows are also gorgeous in this set. Well, as you can see, I like the set. So ahead of time, I definitely give it a thumbs up. I'm using True Love here, the same color that I used on the mushrooms, to make little top hat mouses. Candy cane. Candy cane cane. Now, I'm probably not the best at giving exact details of how to do the image that I'm coloring because I do go back and forth. And it would probably be hard for me to list or even tell you all the colors that I'm using because I quickly switch colors, and it's fine for you to do that too. Here I'm taking the Turpenoid with my cheapy brush, and I'm just dipping very lightly, and I'm sorry this keeps going in and out because the camera focuses on my hand and then the brush and then the background, so it gets a little fuzzy, sorry. So the Turpenoid is just blending the background in a little bit more. These colors, once again, are oil-based, so they work wonderfully with the Turpenoid, and it just creates a smooth, almost, it's not actually glossy, but it looks like this smooth, glossy, gorgeous area. I said cheapy brush before, and I use several different brushes. Some of them are super expensive, in my humble opinion, and some of them are not, and that happens to be one of them that I ended up getting from Target in a watercolor paint set, and I just got really lucky, so I use that quite a bit to blend colored pencils. And of course, I'll put the links underneath. Oop, back to the mushrooms. I'm using True Love again and Ruby Brown, just like before. And I just wanted to leave that because I wanted to show you that there's a little bit of yellow on the top of the mushrooms that I put down ahead of time because it's much easier to figure out where the light is going to hit beforehand. This way you can sort of work around it. It's much harder with colored pencils to try to go back in and make the area lighter unless you're going to use something like, where is it? Like a Posca, like a Uni Posca pen, which you can hear shaking in the background. Now I'm using the white here for the spots on the mushroom, not for the highlights, because I wanted all the highlights in this area to be white. I'm sorry, yellow, because of the glowing candle. Oh, and the Posca pen, which this one is the 0.7 millimeter. It's I think this one is the finest that they make, meaning thickness of the point. You shake it up, and it's actually paint, and it works really nicely over the top of the Schpirerr Farben pencils, as you can see. Now, what I'm doing here is I left this in real time because I wanted you to see how really bad it looks when I first start to color or draw. Like, this looks like a nightmare, and it looks like something that you would never want to finish. But I wanted to leave it because it just shows, once again, and I've said this before, if you don't like what you see, you're just probably not done. So be patient with yourself and don't beat yourself up, because you know, it's coloring, it's fun, and it's your thing. So you can make it look however you like, and you can take however long you want to. Oop, now I'm using olive green. Let me see what other color I used for the background. Jungle Light. And over the whole area where I colored on the side, I used lime. Now here I'm using that lovely black and making a shadow behind the mouse. I'm also making shadows around other areas too, and it adds such depth to your image. Don't be afraid to use really dark colors and really light colors. It makes it interesting. Now I'm using espresso over, or is that dark brown? Over the top of some of the plants to just make some veins and make some detail, just to make it look more interesting. I added some interest. And as you can see, I'm going back with the darker colors and I'm adding more depth. And you saw me before do the shadow behind the mouse. That was in pure black. So I guess what I'm trying to say is don't be afraid to go over something again and again and again. It's kind of interesting too because you learn that way. Meaning even me too. Not that I'm trying to teach you anything, but you find your own style that way. You force yourself to just do it. So you saw me give this a thumbs up. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time doing this video. Thank you again to Schpirerr Farben. Don't forget to look for all the links below to the new set, to their older set, to their paints. Everything you need will be down below in the information box. I'm so glad to be back talking with you. And I guess that's about it for now. So I hope to see all your comments in the box below, and I will see you soon. Thank you all for being here, and I hope you're all well and safe during this scary time, and I'll try to put out more content for you so we all have something to do together. Talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.